I wasn't here 2 years ago. Now I'm doing an interview with Billboard.
Fresh out the Grammys.
Girl. Hello, I'm Ayra Starr, and you're watching Billboard News.
Everybody, it's Rania Niftos with Billboard News, and I am so excited. We have the Afrobeats queen herself in the studio today, Ayra Starr.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You were just nominated, your first ever Grammy nomination. How did that feel?
Amazing. I had a great time at the Grammys, all the after parties, even before the Grammys. I was like, I'm at the Grammys. If you see me at the red carpet, I was having a good time, let me tell you.
Was there something that surprised you over the course of the week that you were like, I was expecting this, but if this happened instead?
To be honest, like anytime I come to LA, I'm always like indoors. I never do anything, and people know me, but people don't really know me like that. They know my music, but they don't know me. This time, every room I walked into, Ayra Starr. I was like, wow. I started fangirling over the people that were fangirling over me. I'm like, you know me? I'm like, yeah. Like, what was the best thing?
That also must feel so validating too, that it's like all the hard work you've been putting in your career is paying off from your peers, you know, and recognition from your peers. How special. I love that. And you were also nominated in a brand new category this year at the Grammy Awards, Best African Music Performance. What does that mean for you, for African music to get its own new category at the Grammys?
It's been a long time coming because African music has been It's been popping for such a long time. Afrobeats has been taking over the world. I feel like this is very validating for everybody that's put in efforts for this. African music has taken over the world.
Yes.
It's literally the best genre in the world. Okay, so yeah, it was a long time coming.
What do you think it is about African music that's resonating so much in the last few years on a global audience?
African music sounds very different from anything you've ever heard.
So
and
true.
Even though it's sad, even though it's slow, you're gonna move your body.
100%.
You're gonna feel good about yourself. I don't know what it is. I think it's high vibrational music. We're really blessed. God blessed us.
All the girls gonna find you. All the guys gonna find me.
It establishes a culture where you can like dance through your pain. You can get through anything through rhythm, through unity.
Exactly, and we like to dance. Africans like to dance.
You sure do. I love it, I love it. And I mean, you also, speaking of you like to dance, Rush. Completely took over music. Did you know when writing it that this was gonna be like your mega hit?
Definitely not. I'm sorry. I was so convinced. They had to convince me to put that song out because I wasn't sure. And when it did come out, when it started blowing up, I was like having the worst case of imposter syndrome.
Really?
Girl.
What was it that you weren't sure about? Like, why did they have to push you?
I think I wasn't just sure. I put out different sounds all the time. But with Rush was very different from anything I had put out. And it was like, I don't know if I want to do this. It's just very different. And everybody was like, trust me, Ayra, just trust your team. I was like, okay, let's do it. And when it came out, it blew up immediately. Just from the snippet, like a 30-second snippet, it was already trending. And it blew up and I was like, I started to have imposter syndrome because nothing like that has ever happened to me. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I deserve this. Like, you know how it goes.
I was about to say, I am the queen of imposter syndrome.
Girl.
How do you handle that? Just even advice for me, what do you do to deal with that type of thing that you're like, what am I doing here? I don't belong here, you know?
You do belong.
It's true, and so do you. You 100% do.
I do.
And I'm so glad that you are here because, you know, I feel like as women too, sometimes, we're supposed to be told not to bask in our accomplishments, to not allow yourself to get too confident, too cocky.
Exactly.
But it's like, why not? You worked for it.
You worked hard. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of women put hard work and even more than the men, so much work into this. And it's like they try to be humble about it. It's like you're told to be humble every time. No.
But you must hustle if you want job. You no finish, they won't fight all.
You set an immediate record on YouTube. You're the youngest female artist to surpass 100 million views on a single YouTube video, and you did that in just 5 days.
Literally.
How insane was that? How does it feel to represent not only young women, but Black young women and young women in the African genre?
When I was growing up, I didn't have that representation. I was a big Disney girl.
Yes.
I used to watch Disney and all the pop stars. I wanted to be a pop star so bad. I wanted to be a teenage pop star, to be exact. I wanted to be the Black Hannah Montana.
I love that. Like, you are. Look at her. Look at her. She is. Like, look at this.
I wanted to be the Black Hannah Montana. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be that representation for Black women and like African girls. Like, I want my younger sister to be able to like, you know, feel inspired by this, and her friends and like everybody. I want young people to be able to like feel inspired by this. So I felt like I had a responsibility to do that.
I think you're probably breaking that generational thing where a young girl is going to look at you and be like, no, I deserve to do that. I want to do that. I can. And I think that that's so full circle in the most beautiful way. And of course, it's a gift that keeps on giving, because now you have over 300 million views on this. What is it about the song that you think it just keeps
and
hitting?
It keeps getting better. Like, I keep seeing videos, like it's trending again on TikTok. I released it like 2022.
It's inescapable for the past 2 years.
I'm telling you, like people love the song so much, and it's reaching like new places. Like I think in the Philippines, it was #1 in Chad like yesterday again. Like it's top 5 in like at least like 10 countries right now.
But then now you also switched pace a little bit with commas. You slowed it down a bit.
I carry God, so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commas.
I think that that's really special because it creates a different side of you, a little bit more emotional, especially with the lyrics. How did it feel being able to like amplify a more emotional voice in your in your music?
When I started singing, I know like people used to feel very like touched by my voice. Like when I used to sing in secondary school, I would just see people like cry because I would sing like the saddest songs. And my voice has always had that thing where it makes people feel no matter what I'm singing. So I was like, you know what? With commas, I want people to feel exactly how, like, I want them to feel the song. And I had 15 versions of commas before the one I released.
15?
15 versions.
Wow, with the same lyrics but just sung differently?
Just sounding differently from the beats, from the production
to
like ad-libs. I want people to transcend when they listen to it. I want them to feel good and just like be different people when they heard the song.
It goes back again to the high vibrational. You want not only to listen to the music but to feel it. So when you sit down to write a song like Commas, how do you go about lyrically writing the songs? Because it's something that I've always found interesting because I have such a hard time expressing how I feel in words. That how do you even go about, I guess, structuring that in your brain?
So when it comes to like love songs, I'm horrible. I will write the best heartbreak song.
That's what
like it comes
says.
so easy for me. Like sad songs is so easy. Like never trust that man. Like it's so easy
It's
for
like
me.
you have something to say. Yeah.
But for like Commas, Rush, I thank God for like people I collaborate with. You know, from my brother to Embryo who collaborated with me in Rush. I feel like when I collaborate with the right people, they bring out the best versions of me. But like with Embryo, like I call him my therapist.
Right. And music is therapy.
Yeah, because we just talk and we end up like making the best music just from having a deep conversation. So yeah.
Having someone that you trust is the key to something like that, because how else are you going to be honest in your music if you don't trust the person?
Exactly. From the producers, everybody in the studio have to be very comfortable so I can give my best and feel my freest.
And Commas is going to be included on an album, correct, that you're working on?
Hey.
Okay, because I need to know everything about it basically, or at least whatever you're comfortable telling me, because I think Rush and Commas, you do play around with sound a lot. Who is the Ayra Starr that you want to introduce on this upcoming project? Who is she?
The Ayra Starr I want to introduce is excellent.
She absolutely is.
Sonically amazing. I feel like this album is just a new vibe. Not really a new vibe, it's unique because I've been evolving sonically, even as a girl. Like I feel like I'm way more feminine than I was last year. I wear pink more now. I never used to like pink because I felt embarrassed, you know?
Really?
Because I was like, yeah, everybody just says pink. I used to feel embarrassed, but now I'm like, I'm gonna wear pink.
You're like in the summer of Barbie, now we wear
Why
pink.
not?
100%.
Why not? So it's like, I feel like I've grown so much as even a person, and you can hear that in my music, you know? From sonically, everything, production-wise, everything is just way better. And I feel like this new version, it's not really a new version, it's just like a more evolved.
You have a very interesting story that I feel like not a lot of people know about.
Oh, please, what?
You had to deal with your parents that they would not let you pursue music unless you got an education. And you took that tenfold and you graduated university.
I was like, let's go.
At 14 years old, you guys.
Yes.
14 years
old. I went
old.
to university at 14. Like, I feel like my mom has been using music to blackmail me since I was a child.
That'll do it.
If you want to do music, you have to do this. If you want to do, like, it was always like that. So remember even coming into Lagos, she was like, yeah, we're moving into Lagos. I was like, I don't want to move. And she was like, yeah, this is the land where you pursue music. I was like, okay, let's go.
Let's go. Off I go.
You know? I was like, let's go. Mom was like, okay, if you want to do music, you have to finish school first. I was like, okay, it's like that. And I knew that, if I waited till I was 15, because usually a lot of people in Nigeria finish secondary school at 15, 16. That's a very normal thing. So I was like, if I waited till I was 15, I won't be able to be a teenage pop star. And I wanted to be a teenage pop star. That was key. I wanted to be a teenager when I said, like, it was very, very specific. I wanted to be a teenage pop star. So I was like, okay, I did my, like, you guys call it SATs here. I did my SATs. Me and my brother is like a year older than me. I joined my brother. I did my we did our SATs. I got in. It was to be honest, it wasn't that the results weren't that like crazy to get me into like this Ivy League school.
But enough to pass by.
It was enough. It was enough for my mom. I was like, okay, you can get into a good school.
Right.
Okay, we went into school. My course was for 3 years. It was international relations. And the way God works, after university, I started doing like, covers online. Yeah. The same year I got signed.
Wow.
That's the way it is. Like, it just.
You simply spoke it into existence. You were like, I'm going to be a teenage pop star. I will get my education. I will become like international.
I believed it so much. I believed it so much.
That's crazy. And you also spent your childhood split, from what I understand, between Nigeria and Benin Republic, right? What was it like having that crossover between two different countries, two different experiences in your formative years?
Nigeria and Benin Republic are so significantly different. Even though it's so close to each other, it's like literally like a 3-hour, 4-hour drive. But it's so different from each other. Like, Benin Republic is very calm. Used to live by the beach, you know, the water. Like, everybody was 3 times, calm, slower. Lagos, yeah. When you get into Lagos, like, it's just from the bus everywhere. I'm
my God.
What's happening? It's very different. And I used to spend like I used to do school in Benin Republic, then come to Lagos for holidays, and I feel like that shaped me in a way that I can adapt into any situation.
Yeah.
And even like my sounds are very, my music is very like, different vibes, because it can fit into any part of the world.
It made you very well-rounded. You had a song on your first EP called DITR about your experience.
She's still your baby, nothing has changed, please. She's only 18.
Tell me a bit about how being 14 at university shaped this.
So me and my 2 brothers were both in the same school. My father didn't allow us to stay in like, what do you call it?
Like dorms.
Hostels, like dorms. So we had to stay home. So it was like secondary school. You leave home.
You go to school.
My dad sometimes would come and pick me. I'm like, people are going to see you. No, please.
You're like, I want to be cool. I want to party.
Cool, please. But yeah, he would come and pick us up and all of that. Every time me and my brothers would talk about like, did you see that girl? Like, we would just gossip about like everything that was happening in school, because we were so like, we were shocked.
Yeah.
But these are like adults in university, so they were living lives that were very different from ours.
That's what's so funny about going to university.
Yeah.
Because you get people from everywhere, from different backgrounds, not just like from your neighborhood that you grew up in, that you're used to. That you see all different types of people.
Different types of people. And I feel like I made Diamond in the Rough like inspired by that, like Diamond in the Rough.
And I love that you were there with your siblings.
Yes.
Because then it's like a little within the it's blood
it was
within
fun.
the family.
It became fun. We were like, if something happens, we would look at each other in school, like just give ourselves like the eye contact, like.
I would have done anything to go to university with my brother. We would have been the same thing, just tearing it up.
It was too funny.
And so you also said that DITR is an ode to Gen Z. What does that mean to you?
Oh my God, we made that song such a long time ago. I can't remember. What is this song about?
I mean, listen, I just thought that was the funniest thing that you have ever done, was just like drag the people that you would see through the mud and just like, this is what I see, and I'm going to put it on.
We're saying everything, like, you
Nothing got past
disobeyed.
me.
She smoked smoking, he's doing drugs. I was snitching on everybody on that song.
I mean, us speaking about Mean Girls earlier, you had your own personal burn book on your EP, and I love that for you. Like, I just love how honest you are in your music.
It was too funny. I made the song with my brother, and it was like, yeah. I used to live with my grandparents for like 2 years, and the estate we grew up in, it wasn't really like the best, like, you know, place.
Yeah.
You know, was kind of like the hood and all of that. And my brothers, we always knew that, oh, we were going to be bigger than this. So we used to call ourselves like Diamond, where the diamonds in the rough.
I love
like, all of
that.
So that was everything that DITR was about.
How do you keep yourself motivated in a situation like that you're like, I'm gonna get over this, I'm gonna grow past this, I'm gonna get to the next level where I see for myself? How do you keep motivated?
It's having the right people around you, number one.
I love that.
Having the right people around you, because everybody around me doesn't take shit seriously. Am I allowed to swear?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Nobody takes shit seriously. Like, things will happen and we just laugh about it. Do you understand? And it's like, my mom, like everybody, like I can speak to them about anything, you know, whatever I'm feeling. And also it's like myself, you know, I'm very comfortable with the idea of me making mistakes.
I like that.
I'm very comfortable with that, and I feel like that's helped me. That motivates me, because once I make a mistake, it gives me like more ginger to like want to do more. I'm like, I can make it better, and I know I can make it better. So that was me all the time. I'm not afraid to be seen trying. I know for sure, like, being something imperfect does not prevent me from being any, like, if I have to do it.
Yes.
I have to do it, so yeah.
Life exists on a grayscale, and I think that's something that I'm learning personally too, that it's like you can't always have the wins. Like, you need the L's sometimes so that you can appreciate those wins.
And I appreciate it too. I appreciate the wins, I appreciate the L's, because I feel like it just teaches me every time. And I have a commitment to excellence.
And I think it's such a good message for people to hear, because so many people struggle with unless I'm perfect, I won't succeed. And that's not true. It's just, you can strive for that, but like, we are human at the end of the day. Also, I guess on a more fun, separate note, I love your sense of style. I could not have you leave here without talking about fashion. Where do you get your inspiration from? You're like constantly turning out looks.
To be honest, I just like know what I want, and I know what I want to look like. And I work with people that understand my vision. So that's the best, you know, working with people that understand what you're trying to do. Shout out to my stylist, she's in the room.
I love that. She did an excellent job. Shout out to you, girl. But yeah, you came in here, we were all like, she looks amazing.
So yeah, so I know what I want to look like, I know what I want to wear, and I'm very like experimental with my style too. So that's the thing, I like trying new things.
Yeah, and I think just being brave, I think pays off for those
every time,
things.
It pays off every time. You're gonna get dragged.
And that's fine, because on the other
but you have to
hand,
be comfortable with that.
If you're brave enough, you're gonna have a lot of hits. You know what I mean? On everything in your life. Moving forward, where would you like to see the Afrobeats, African music genre flourish and expand from here?
I want it to be the #1 genre in the world.
Well on its way.
Everywhere, all over the world. I know I don't want it to be, you know, I don't want it to get like diluted, but I love the fact that people have their own translations of Afrobeats. You know, people are trying different, like, there's now like, you know, Korean people are doing their own Afrobeats, American people are doing their own Afrobeats. It's kind of cute, and it's kind of like, you know, it's lovely to see, because we've come such a long way. We deserve it. We deserve it.
It's unifying. 100%. Thank you so much, Ayra Starr. You are the queen. I adore you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us
Thank you so
today.
much for having me.
Everyone go stream Rush and Commas.
And Commas. Go stream Commas.
Yay!